Betrayal. This is the oldest wound in the heart of mankind. It cuts deeper than any sword, because it does not come from an enemy standing before us but from a friend standing beside us. And no betrayal has echoed louder across the centuries than that of Julius Caesar. For more than 2,000 years, one phrase has haunted the world. Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus? They were not words of anger. They were words of heartbreak. A man's final cry as trust itself crumbled around him. But to truly understand that moment, we must go back to the Republic of Rome, back to the rise of one man, back to the Ides of March. For nearly 500 years, the Romans had lived under a republic. No kings, no tyrants, only laws, magistrates, and a senate elected by the people. They were proud of this freedom, proud that their ancestors had cast out monarchs and vowed never again to bow to one man. But power has a way of concentrating itself. Wealth flooded in from conquests. Corruption followed. Senators grew greedy. Generals built private armies. The Republic, once the envy of the world, became a battlefield of ambition. It was into this storm that Gaius Julius Caesar was born. The making of a man. Caesar's family was noble, but not wealthy. His future was uncertain. Yet from his earliest years, he displayed something remarkable, a gift for charm, for words, and for daring. He could win loyalty, not just through fear, but through generosity. He knew when to bend and when to strike. He was ambitious, yes, but also shrewd. We follow him through his youth, narrowly escaping the dictator Sulla's wrath, refusing to divorce his wife despite threats, proving himself a man of principle and courage. These early choices built the reputation of a man who would never bow. But Caesar's true stage was not politics, not yet. It was war.
If you are enjoying this video, please like, share, subscribe and comment below. Continue with me as we walk through memories together. This is Echoes of the Past with Peter, and I am your guide through the lane of history.
The first triumvirate in civil war. Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus once ruled Rome together in an uneasy alliance. But when Crassus fell in battle, and when Caesar's daughter Julia, Pompey's beloved wife, died in childbirth, that bond was severed. The Senate seized their chance. They ordered Caesar to disband his legions and return as a private citizen. To obey would mean ruin. To resist would mean war. And so, in 49 BC, standing on the banks of the Rubicon River, Caesar spoke the words that would seal Rome's fate, Alia iacta est, that is, the die is cast. With his loyal legion, he crossed into Italy. Civil war had begun. For years, Romans fought Romans. Pompey fled east, commanding the Senate's armies. But at Pharsalus, Caesar's veterans crushed him. Pompey fled to Egypt, and met his end at the hands of treachery. When Caesar was presented with Pompey's severed head, he wept. Though rivals, Pompey had once been a friend. It was the end of an era. Caesar the dictator. Victorious, Caesar returned to Rome. He enacted sweeping reforms, granting land to veterans, canceling debts, expanding citizenship, even giving the world the Julian calendar. To many, he was a savior who brought stability after years of chaos. But to others, to the proud defenders of the Republic, Caesar looked more and more like a king. Purple robes, laurel crowns, his face stamped onto coins, statues rising across the city, and finally, the title, Dictator for Life. The Romans, who had sworn never to kneel to a monarch again, began to tremble. Whispers spread. The Republic was dying. And in the shadows, knives were being sharpened. The conspiracy. The plot was led by Cassius, sharp of mind, sharper of envy. But Cassius knew he needed a man of virtue, someone Caesar loved, someone the people trusted. That man was Marcus Junius Brutus. Brutus was torn apart. Caesar had been his protector, almost a father. Yet he feared Caesar's ambition would strangle the Republic. Letters, some real, some forged, were slipped beneath his door, urging him to save Rome. Slowly, painfully, Brutus gave in. More than 60 senators swore the oath. daggers were hidden. The theater of Pompeii was chosen. The Ides of March were set. The omens. The night before, Rome trembled with omens. A slave's hand burst into flame but was not burned. Ghosts walked the forum. A lion was seen wandering the streets. In Caesar's home, his wife Calpurnia woke from a nightmare, her husband's statue bleeding as Romans washed their hands in it. She clutched him, begged him not to go. But Caesar, ever proud, ever defiant, smiled. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant taste death but once. The Ides of March. March 1544 BC. Caesar donned his scarlet robe and walked toward the theater of Pompeii. Inside, the conspirators waited. At first, warm greetings. Respectful bows. A petition placed in his hand. Then, the signal. Casca struck first. Steel flashed. Caesar staggered. Blades rained from every side, 23 wounds in all. And then, the face. Brutus. The man he had trusted most. Et tu, Brute? Not a curse. Not rage. Just heartbreak. Caesar fell at the feet of Pompey's statue, destiny's cruel irony. The aftermath. Rome erupted. Some cheered. Some wept. At Caesar's funeral, Mark Antony turned grief into fire. He held aloft Caesar's torn cloak, read his will, and revealed gifts for the people. Rage exploded. The crowd rioted. The conspirators fled. Brutus and Cassius hoped they had saved the Republic. But their dream died with them at Philippi, where they chose suicide over capture. Legacy. In truth, Caesar's death destroyed the Republic he had threatened. His adopted son Octavian, later Augustus, rose to power, defeated his rivals, and became the first Roman emperor. The Republic was gone. An empire was born. Yet Caesar's name lived on. Caesar became a title of power. Kaisers, Tsars, Emperors, echoes of a man stabbed on the Senate floor. And through it all, one image endures. Caesar, betrayed. His friends' daggers in his flesh. His whisper, Et tu, Brute? A warning carved into history, that betrayal does not come from enemies, but from those we trust most. Truly, the stab doesn't hurt as much as turning and seeing the face of the one holding the knife. Thank you for walking through this historical journey with me. Hit like, share with a friend, and subscribe to Echoes of the Past with Peter for more trips down the timeline. Tomorrow, another chapter of history awaits.